I think that people should know that we're doing 6 episodes this week. We're recording 6 episodes this week.
We're recording 6 episodes this week.
We used to record 1 episode a week.
That's insane.
Back in the day. Can you remember?
No.
Like, what were we doing?
That feels fake. Who is she? Who is that?
Know.
What?
Hi, Jillian Benzavalli.
Hello, Patrick Hines. Also, we're saying that with love. We are thrilled that we get to do this. I'm
and
just
gratitude.
Saying. It's a lot. By Sunday, my voice, because we're recording on Saturday this week, too, so we're doing a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday
I get to see you over the weekend.
I know. Usually we're Tuesday, Thursday girlies, but we have a whole lot going on. Anyway, we love you. Hi.
Hi. All right, what are we talking about today, girl?
This is our 15th bonus episode. This is that series that we love, Murder Has Two Faces.
Yeah.
This is the 3rd and last episode of the series.
What year is this from? Do you know?
Like, it just came out this year.
So maybe they'll make more.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
But there's only 3 episodes out, and this is the 3rd one. It's called Good Guys Gone Bad.
We open with a 911 call that has an AI dispatcher.
Don't like that.
No, and I was like, Did the dispatcher say something so horrible that we couldn't use their audio? We'll get to the call again in the episode, so we can talk about it more then. But I was like, that was weird.
No, not cool.
But this is the episode comparing the Craigslist killer and someone being called the Tagged Killer. Tagged is an app I've never heard of.
Yeah, and also we covered the Craigslist killer.
Yeah.
We did that.
Such an idiot. Like, this was like maybe the dumbest murderer we've ever covered.
Yeah. So Tiffany Taylor is here. She is a survivor. She was abducted by this person, and she is here to tell her story and explain how so much of this could have been avoided.
Yeah, people just listened to her, believed her, and taken her seriously.
Yeah.
Between the Craigslist killer and the Tagged Killer, they're eerily similar.
They were these nice guys that had conventional good looks from these regular middle-class homes, and they both had been living double lives.
Now, sources do tell me that the suspect comes from a law enforcement family.
They had an side of violence nobody saw coming.
Just a normal guy.
You would think that these cases would get the same type of attention, and they don't.
Craigslist killer's first victim. She was able to escape, she was taken seriously, and the Craigslist killer, he's caught after 2 weeks. With Tag, you have 4 women killed, only 1 who's able to escape, but it takes months to find him.
Usually when somebody comes to the police and they tell a story like yours, there's press conferences and news bulletins, but there was none of that.
There was none of that.
The silence.
Days after I escaped, he was already killing again. If they would have just believed me, who knows how many girls would still be here.
We're in Philadelphia. We're learning about the murder of Robin West. Now, the murder of Robin West happens before Tiffany Taylor becomes involved in this case. But we meet Robin's dad, Leroy. He was a police officer and a pastor. Robin was his youngest. We now are watching Leroy and Robin Roberts watching a video of Robin singing.
Yeah.
And they are sobbing, and I am sobbing.
Yeah, she was a singer, and like we hear her voice. And I was saying to you before that Robin Roberts, our victim is Robin.
Yeah.
And Robin Roberts is our host. And this is her show, like she's producing it.
Yeah.
She really is so kind and warm. And you can really tell that she takes so much care. But these people trust her.
Yes.
They want to tell her their story. And that is rare and can be hard to do. And it just shows how much Robin gives a shit and how much work goes into this. Because it's not easy.
No, and you can tell how much, like, this is Robin Roberts' baby because we were saying this off mic, they leave in a lot of things that other documentaries don't, if the conversations even happen at all. We've talked about this on other episodes. We really need to move forward in this movement to have, like, mental health professionals on set during interviews like this. Like, I think it is really necessary and would be really valuable. But they leave in things like Robin talking about the reason why they're doing the interview, what we're meant to get from the interview, why the interview is important, why the dad re-traumatizing himself by talking about his daughter's brutal murder is valuable and important, and what he's giving to the world by doing that. And I love that it all gets, like, left in.
Yeah, it should be normal.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be so surprising and refreshing to see, for lack of a better term. This is how you should be handling these kinds of things.
We then meet Azrian, or Azrian. It's either Azrian or Azrian, but he's Robin's brother, and he's just like,
Robin is my father's favorite. It was as if she was another half of him. I think the pain of losing Robin truly weighed him down. She was just full of life.
She was awesome. She was full of life. She just always like brought a smile to your face. Everyone loved her voice. And Robin was so young. When she's 15 years old, her family starts to notice changes in her.
Because her parents have separated.
Yeah.
And like the dad is saying that like that's really hard on any kid. And for Robin, it manifested in like not going to school, not going to class. She's suddenly arguing with people. She's just different.
Yeah.
now.
And she was like, of course, like this sucked. She was acting out. And also her father was a cop and a pastor. Super strict household.
The brother Adrian is like, he was very, very strict. And I get it. It is not, that's not my parenting style. I am not like a loosey-goosey parent by any means, but like overly strictness is, Daisy and I have been talking so much about sneaking out because she heard me and Steve talking about it after the Emily Longley episode. So every night Daisy's like, so daddy, when I'm older, what's going to happen if I sneak out? I'm like, well, you're not going to sneak out.
No.
And then we have to have like a conversation about, last night I told her about the time when I was 14 and I snuck out with my sister.
Really? Where'd you go?
No, that was Daisy's first question. We went nowhere. We walked around the neighborhood. We were bored. After 45 minutes, we like came home and went back to bed and
you knocked on the door?
No, but we told our mom the next day. She's like, that was dumb. Daisy's like, Daddy, there could have been a killer out there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, tell me you're the kid of a true crime podcaster without telling me you're the kid of a true crime podcaster.
2025, everybody.
I know. Daddy, there could have been a killer out there.
Oh my God, she's right.
I know.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, and she's, going through it with her parents' separation. Like, acting out, of course she was,
Yeah, and so like her birthday was coming up. Robin was super excited about it. She's posting about it all over social media.
And it's her 20th birthday, so she's not 15 anymore.
No.
Still incredibly young, but she, yeah.
And she makes plans to like meet up with friends in New York. Like that's the plan for the birthday weekend.
And so she goes to New York City from Philly and to go party with her friend, and she never comes home.
Yeah.
And this is, her family doesn't hear from her. She's not responding to calls and texts. Very, very unlike her. Especially, I'm sure, when your father's a pastor and a cop, you have those check-ins.
Yes.
You have to call and check in, maybe more than a 20-year-old would.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, remind her that she is 20, so it does take the family a couple days to realize that she's not around. But brother Adrian is like...
I scoured her Facebook. I was contacting every single person who left a like on her most recent post. Well, I heard nothing.
And he says he gets nothing back from anybody.
Nothing. And so Leroy, Robin's father, and again, a cop, calls police, and he says, I think this is so important, he says, well, there was only one officer who even responded to me.
Yeah.
And he emphasizes me.
I will say Leroy does not mince words when it comes to how the police handled this case.
Yeah, it's like wall of blue, but maybe not if you're black or maybe if your daughter,
Yeah, once it becomes like your kid, it becomes very personal. And you would think, I mean, my God, that we are, again, dealing with the fact that she was not at home. She was in a jurisdiction in another state. They say she was going to New York, but she actually went to New Jersey. This all happens in New Jersey.
Yeah, we get a lot of selective, protect your own.
Yes.
And if you're a cop, they pick and choose when they want to do that.
It is kind of wild to think that there were like the cops in New Jersey not calling back this Philly cop to help figure out what's going on with his daughter. That does seem really crazy to me.
Yeah, no investigators or detectives reached out. No information is given to the family.
And we will learn more about why in a minute. Girl, this episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack and hydration sponsor.
IQ Bar is the better-for-you, plant protein-based snack made with brain-boosting nutrients to refuel, nourish, and satisfy hunger without the sugar crash.
Now, this I love so much. IQ Bar's plant protein bars are the smarter snack choice with more fiber and less sugar and carbs than the alternatives. It's like the thing you can throw in your bag to have in a pinch.
Yeah, I'm a girl who loves options, right?
Yes.
So the Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way to try all of the IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. So you got your options.
We're not just bars. We're talking hydration and coffee, fam.
Yeah. The whole thing, too, that I love is without the sugar crash.
Yes.
That's the thing where it's like, you're not going to pay for feeling better later.
Exactly. Oh, my God. So, fam, with over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their busy lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees.
Their Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3.
Yeah.
And it's so easy for IQ Bar to become a part of your daily routine. Mike is in marathon mode right now. So he starts the morning with the IQ Joe, or sometimes he'll use the IQ mix to refuel. After work, he's running 22 miles at a pop now. So he needs it.
And fam, right now IQ Bar is offering our special podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including their sampler pack, plus free shipping.
Yeah. To get your 20% off, text TCO to 64,000.
Text TCO to 64,000.
That's TCO to 64,000.
Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
There you go. That means So Robin's friend, who she went, I mean, maybe she went to New York City and they ended up in Jersey. I don't know. Jersey City is like, it's 2 minutes away.
We don't know, but like all of the counties that this takes place is in New Jersey. It's not really clear, but that's kind of where this happens.
So the friend she went to meet called police as well and says Robin got into a car and she never came back. And thank you, awesome friend, because the friend took a picture of the license plate and gave it to the cops.
Now, just stop on this to say for a minute. They immediately identify the last person Robin was with. Like, she gets in this guy's car, the friend takes a picture of the license plate, it gets to the cops interview this guy briefly. He says that he had nothing to do with her disappearance and they just let him go.
Yeah, so I'm like, really? Like, she was last seen driving off with this guy. We're just going to take him at his word. I'm not saying go straight to corruption.
Yeah.
But like, maybe let's keep this guy on our list. And then I'm like, oh, silly me, there isn't even a list. So
yeah. So I think the reason, and this is not an excuse, I do not believe in this excuse at all, but we meet Officer Paul, and he's saying
the police report said that Robin got into a car on Nye Avenue in Irvington, which is also known as a area where people could walk the streets.
There's the assumption that the young ladies were involved in sex work.
Immediately, Robin is considered a sex worker, and they think it's a high-risk lifestyle, and the cops are just not that interested in investigating this case.
And so they're wondering if maybe that's why her friend was so fast to snap a photo. Like, maybe they were working together and looking out for each other, and so this friend knows always take pictures of the license plate in case something bad happens.
And my God, like, that is really, really smart. You're getting in a car with a stranger. You know what I mean? And we do learn, reporter Anthony tells us that this is something that people who do sex work in this area will do to sort of watch out for each other. And it's very smart.
And so, like, Robin's family is trying to get her story on the news, and it's not working because of this whole bullshit, like, she put herself in that situation nonsense that we don't subscribe to. But, like, the minute people hear sex work or bad neighborhood or anything unsafe, they just make these assumptions that end up really devaluing the person. Because Leroy, her own father, is like, yeah, she's still a human being with people who love her.
And, like, I want to point out, too, that, like, this guy goes on to become a serial killer.
Yes.
So it's like these people kill indiscriminately. Yes, maybe Robin was a sex worker. We don't know. Maybe she was. But he went on. Like, her life should be... It doesn't matter. But, like, it's like he's going to kill indiscriminately. Anybody who's killing anybody, we got to get off the fucking street. And all of these lives have value.
And the point is that Robin is black because over in Boston, the Craigslist killer is all over the news, even though he too is targeting sex workers.
Yeah, and it's handled very differently. We meet Nicole, who's a news anchor up in Boston, and she says that, like, the similarities between the two cases are kind of staggering. Like, both are targeting sex workers. We just have to say it, because the Craigslist killer was happening in an affluent area and the sex workers he was targeting were white, and the killer himself was white, this gets much more widespread attention. So we can't even just say, oh, the media is not going to cover stories of sex workers. No, the media is not going to cover stories of black sex workers.
Right. And Leah Webb is here. She's a New York State Senator, 52nd Senate District.
Yeah.
She says, of course, like, stories and cases about black women and girls are underreported to a staggering degree.
Yes.
But she adds,
there's a stigma. Black women have always been hypersexualized. So when we're talking about black female sex workers, it actually becomes even more negative.
And in Boston, like, the media attention helped women. It saved lives. It alerted women.
But it was also part of the story because, you know, our reporter friend is telling us that, like, the story and I was in Boston when this happened, so I remember this. The story in Boston at the time was women in Boston are under attack and who's going to be next, you know? It's all spin. I mean, it's valuable. I'm glad that they're looking for this guy and they're trying to protect the women of Boston, but, like, all people need to be protected.
Yeah, and, like, because this case wasn't covered, women weren't aware, and more people died because of it.
Exactly.
That's just a fact.
Yes.
So September 13th, 2016, Robin is missing for 2 weeks.
Yes.
And this is when Robin's body is found.
Yeah, and, like, her dad, Leroy, tells this just horrifying story because, like, as a parent, I think his point here is, like, you can't imagine that your child is actually dead. And so, you know, his ex-wife calls him and says they found Robin, and he tells this horrible story of, like, great, let's gas up the car and go get her.
Yeah.
But no, they found her body. The dad literally collapses on the floor.
Yeah. And Leroy, her dad, says that Robin was this guy's first victim. And by the way, he was the person the cops spoke to. They had his license plate. They went to his home. They spoke to him and they did nothing. And so like when people try to, quote, do everything right, they look out for each other. They take the photo. They call the police. The people who are supposed to be there to help you don't do shit. So what are we supposed to do?
Right.
Like Robin's friend did everything she was, quote, supposed to do.
Yes.
And now look what happened. Absolutely nothing.
And we're about to meet Tiffany Taylor and it gets so much worse here.
So much
because
worse.
She's got the name and they don't care.
Right. So November 15th, 2016, it's 2 months after Robin's murder.
Yes.
Tiffany Taylor is here. She is a survivor. She is here to say in no uncertain terms, she tried her damnedest to tell the police her story. They did not listen to her.
And what I love is just another amazing thing about this series. Robin Roberts says to Tiffany as she's beginning the interview, and I think it is so important to show the care that Robin Roberts takes before launching into getting Tiffany to tell her story again, because we're going to learn this horrendous attack that Tiffany suffers. The police are going to tell her that they lose her police report. They make her do it twice. She's got to tell this story twice to the cops. She's doing it again here with Robin Roberts. And Robin Roberts says to her,
it can't be easy to share a story that at one time nobody believed or wanted to hear. What's your feeling?
I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about it.
It can't be easy sharing a story that at one time nobody believed or wanted to hear. You know?
And then the aftermath of that.
Yeah.
Like, and what that means for someone like Tiffany, who's like, again, I tried to do everything right.
Yeah.
And maybe if I, the Tiffanys of the world will say, well, maybe if I did it better, maybe, take on that guilt when it's not her fault. And none of this is her fault.
And it's also just the acknowledgement from Robin Roberts, like, I know that you're giving us your story and we see you and we appreciate you and we're grateful. And it's just like every interviewer needs to learn from this.
Absolutely. So Tiffany tells us about herself. She's from Jersey City. She says that she grew up in the projects, but her mom kept her very, very sheltered. She said they were very protective of me.
Yeah.
And she had a rough go of it, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Like, she fucking went through it.
Her mom gets sick with cancer. Tiffany didn't know if her mom was going to live or die. Tiffany says, we lost everything. We were homeless. It was rough.
Yeah.
And then she says, Tiffany says, I had to learn how to take care of myself and my mom too. Now, as a person who has done this, if you've ever had to care for a person who's suffering from cancer, that is brutal. And Tiffany was a kid and homeless. And I'm thinking, where, is she taking care of her mother while also navigating the shelter system or living in a car?
Those low-cost motels or whatever.
And Tiffany is just you can see just by looking at her for 2 seconds, she's like the most selfless person in the world.
Yeah. And she says, in order to figure this out, she said that she started running the streets just to get by.
Yes.
So in 2016, Tiffany gets pregnant and she tells us,
I was so happy. Once I got pregnant, I just stopped everything. I just wanted my baby to have the life that I didn't have.
She just wants to give her kid the life that she didn't get to have.
And she's happy about this pregnancy and she's focusing on herself and focusing on the baby. And so it's November 15th, 2016, and she explains what happened. She says that she goes to meet up with, quote, a guy.
Yes.
And when Robin Roberts is like, what was this person like? And she goes, he was just a regular kid. It was just a guy. She says she was staying at the Ritz Motel at the time. She's 5 months pregnant. And Tiffany explains, she goes, look, this guy knew what she calls her situation. He knew she needed money.
Yes.
And so they just arrange a meet. And so the guy picks up Tiffany. But this is interesting. The guy picks up Tiffany, but then they switch seats and Tiffany gets behind the wheel.
Yeah. She's explaining that she's driving and driving, doesn't really know where he wants her to go. But then he says he's got to go to the bathroom. Can we turn down a side street?
So he can pee.
So he can fucking pee. So as they pull down a side street, he then attacks her. And in Tiffany's own words, she describes he rapes her, he duct tapes her, and Tiffany describes how people were walking by and not noticing.
And he handcuffed her, he just
choking her. She says, I was trying to scratch his face and he grabbed my hands and very calmly says, no, I know what I'm doing. I've done this before.
What a piece of shit. So Tiffany is trying to get out of the situation alive.
Yeah.
And she is I just can't imagine what it's like for your mind to be racing and then to sort of land on an idea and see if it works.
But she nails it.
What she does. And she says, oh, shit. She tells him.
I said, I left my phone at the hotel with all our text messages and everything on it. That's when he got all frantic. You got to get that phone. You got to go back and get the phone.
She describes how he goes from being calm to being frantic, and they've got to get the phone immediately. And Robin Roberts is saying to her, like, how were you managing to, like, stay so calm while you were doing this? And she says, I was not going to let this guy kill me and my daughter. She was so fucking determined.
And there's this really great exchange that really shows, like, the relationship that Robin has with the people that she's talking to and how comfortable they feel with her and how it feels like it's just old friends talking. Because Tiffany explains that she breaks out of one of the handcuffs and Robin goes, without letting him know. And Tiffany goes, without letting him know.
Yeah.
And it was just there was like a level of comfort there. And just in that exchange where you just felt like, oh, they really like admire and trust each other.
Exactly. Fam, by now you've probably heard of Built, where you can earn points on your monthly rent payment. But did you know they make it possible for you to get more outside of your home, too?
Yeah, so by paying rent through Built, you earn flexible points that can be redeemed towards hundreds of hotels and airlines, or a future rent payment, or your next Lyft ride, and more.
Yeah, but it doesn't stop there, fam. Built is about making your entire neighborhood more rewarding.
You can dine out at your favorite local restaurants and earn additional points. You can get VIP treatment at certain fitness studios, and you can enjoy exclusive experiences just for Built members every month. So just like you're paying rent every month, you're getting this every month.
Exactly. Built is turning a monthly expense into an opportunity to earn rewards and discover the best that your neighborhood has to offer. Your rent is finally working for you.
Finally.
Finally.
Used to be like, oh, I'll just throw this money away. No.
I know.
Now it's working for me.
Totally. So fam, earn points on rent around your neighborhood and wherever you call home by going to joinbuilt.com/TCO.
That's JOINBILT.com/TCO.
Make sure to use our URL so they know G&P sent you.
Wow.
I know.
Lots of letters today.
Thank you. And so we see the surveillance video, and this is important. We see the surveillance video of her in the parking lot with her attacker. She's running up the stairs. She says she darts into the room and then, quote, I think I almost broke his hand with how hard I slammed the door on it. And I was like, fuck yes, Tiffany.
Fuck yes. So she calls 911. Again, she does the right thing, right? She gets away. She tells police right away. She goes, somebody just kidnapped me. And this is where we hear it. I don't know if he's still outside. Holy fuck.
Yes.
So we have the body cam footage, okay?
Sometimes I wonder if the cops forget that they're being recorded.
They absolutely have to.
This is some of the most shocking police body cam footage I have ever seen.
Well, and just in terms of the conversation, because they are instantly victim blaming her.
Yes.
Because they're going to like the Ritz Motel, which is known for sex work. They're basically saying like the injuries aren't bad enough for them.
We see her say, look at the injuries look at the bruises on my face.
And they're like, yeah, rough sex, right? He paid for it or whatever, like bullshit. But then
my God.
She's like,
duct tape my face.
When did he duct tape you?
Huh?
In the car?
In the car.
So you let him duct tape you, or what happened? I just need to know.
When he said that, so you let him...
They did not believe me at all.
oh, so you let him put duct tape on you?
It is the most unbelievable. Now, we're going to learn later, this guy has killed before Tiffany, tried to kill Tiffany, and is going to kill again after Tiffany.
Yep.
And Tiffany says, I had all of the information. I had his Facebook, I had his name, I knew exactly where he lived. She says, they did not believe me at all. I just felt like they wanted to lock me up. Tiffany could have gotten a murderer off the streets in that moment, but the cops just didn't believe her.
And they didn't take her seriously, or they thought like, well, like, you're a sex worker. In their minds, whatever the shitty translation is of calling her names or whatever, like, this is part of the gig, girl, like, too bad.
Yes.
They were bothered by it, and the term, let him put duct tape on you, is unbelievable.
And he says it as though he's repeating back what she said.
Right, and she's like, I didn't say that.
He duct taped me is what so you let him put duct tape on you?
No.
What?
It's literally not what she said. So the next day, again, doing everything right on paper, everything we're told to do, right? Like Tiffany's mom picks her up, she gets the sexual assault evidence kit done, and she says she was so scared.
Yeah.
And this is when the cops tell her that her statement got lost and she has to do it all again.
No. For people who don't know what that means, she has to sit down and tell a probably male cop everything that this man did to her. And she's already had to do that once. We know how traumatizing it is for them to have to relive the trauma like that. For her to then have to do it a second time, we sort of scoot right past this. Like, that is absolutely traumatizing to have to do that twice.
Yeah.
To do that once.
And I really don't get the sense that they, I don't know, like apologized or understood the weight of what it meant that they, one, to hear that the story that she told the first time got lost is such a fucking punch in the gut.
Yes.
Like what it signifies to Tiffany after feeling like they wanted to lock her up.
Yes.
So then it's like, oh, you didn't give a shit enough to like put it in the proper file. Okay, cool. So now I have to do it again and you're so annoyed by me. And she's like, once again, full name, his address, Facebook page, his phone number.
Yes, she's got all of the information. And I just want to say one more time, the way that Tiffany says, they told me it got lost. Like that either means that they just threw it away or it was like they didn't care enough. Like this is a woman who's been raped. Yeah. And they didn't take enough care in the way that they took her report to like file her report appropriate. How hard is that?
Yeah, it's not hard.
No.
And so the producer plays the body cam footage for one of the cops. And I'm like, holy shit, like this is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like, people behind the camera need to do more of this.
Yes.
And this is Paul, right? And the producer's like,
there's a consent implied there. Where is that coming from?
You would have to ask that officer why he would phrase the question that way. I really can't answer that.
Now, Paul the cop says, I don't know, you'd have to ask that officer. Now, he's not 100% wrong to say he was not there. He didn't say it. The production, I understand what they're doing. I appreciate it. We need more of this. But the production wants him to say on the record that that cop was wrong to do that, and Paul's just never going to do that.
My thing about that, though, is that, like, so we called the police department and asked to interview y'all, and you're who they sent, so have a fucking answer.
Right.
Sorry. Oh,
But,
sorry.
like, he's never going to do that.
Of course not. But, like, he's been sent there because he wasn't the cop who did that.
Right.
You know?
And, like, like, keep pressing them.
Yeah.
But I was just going to say, and he eventually says, like, he was ready to kill her. If he put duct tape across her mouth, like, he was absolutely going to kill her. But Tiffany thought quickly and got herself out of there, as to say, like, I won't tell on you. Like, I'll delete that text message. Like, come on. But he does say he was ready to kill her.
But also, Paul, there is another thing you can say, which is to say that's not the appropriate way to handle that. You know what I mean? But there's, like you always say, like, there's such the blue wall. Like, he's never going to say anything bad about that cop that he's probably going to have to see at the fucking golf course.
And it's really selective blue wall bullshit because Robin, our other victim, like her dad was a cop and they didn't give him any information or help him at all. So like it's they pick and choose when they're going to be the fucking blue wall of whatever.
And then Paul is also here to say that
in New Jersey, the wealthy in the urban areas are next door neighbors. We try to give every victim the same type of attention. But our resources, whether it's personnel or equipment or vehicles, they're always stretched.
We're really short on personnel and equipment and vehicles. And I'm like, are we really talking about police cars now?
Did you have a hard day at work today?
This woman had to report her rape twice. And we're talking about the number of cop cars you have.
The job you signed up for, like the oath you took, you're going to be like complaining about it now.
Right.
In the face of just the fact that like her race, her socioeconomic status, like all of that it's just a fact.
Yes.
Like, there's no opinion here. And no amount of bullshitting from the cops is going to change what the facts are.
Yeah.
Like, no hemming and hawing. Like, that's what the fact is.
And now we're going to see, like, how similar the cases of the Craigslist killer and the tagged killer are, but how different the coverage actually was. So we learned about Trisha Leffler, and she was the first victim of the Craigslist killer. And once again, we learned that this all went down at the Westin Hotel in Copley Square, which is in the rich part of Boston. It's in Back Bay. And we see video of Trisha, and I'm glad that this was her experience. I am not denying Trisha this at all. But she's on the news talking about how respectful and kind the cops were to her.
They were very respectful towards me. They didn't say, you're not supposed to be doing this, anything like that.
Tiffany Taylor and Trisha Leffler, their stories are similar. They're tied up, attacked. With Trisha Leffler, they took her seriously.
I think this is the best example of what this show is trying to do, to show how similar the cases were and how different, because it was both cases involved a sex worker who escaped. And in Trisha Leffler's case, she gets like put on the news and good for her. I'm glad that she was. But in Tiffany's case, like she is ignored and victim blamed and they lose her police report about her rape.
And Tiffany knows her attacker. She has his name, his address, his phone number. He's on the surveillance cameras and yet crickets.
Yes. Which, by the way, is the exact same thing with Trisha doesn't know the name of the killer, but it's the same thing, arranged through the internet. I love that they spend time to talk about how dumb these men are. They just let themselves be caught on surveillance camera everywhere. But these cases are identical except for the socioeconomic status of the victim.
Yeah. And so when Robin's father Our victim, Robin's father, Leroy, said earlier that his daughter was this guy's first victim. He means his first murder victim, I think, because Tiffany survived this piece of shit, only nobody knew about it.
Right.
So November 23rd, 2016, it's 8 days after Tiffany's harrowing ordeal, we learn about the story of Sarah Butler. She is a college student. She is a Black woman. She is reported missing, and she had been missing for a few days by the time she was reported to the police.
And like just some important details, like it happened over Thanksgiving weekend. She'd asked to borrow her mother's van. She took off early in the evening, never comes back. So Sarah, we learned, had been communicating with people on this tagged app, which is where a lot of the women in the New Jersey cases are meeting up. And we learned this is an app for hookups, but it also can be an app for sex work.
You can have fake identities and exchange money for sex, so no one really knows who you are.
A lot of times women who find themselves on websites like Tagged or back then Craigslist don't present as your typical kind of sex worker.
It was younger women, maybe women who haven't told friends and family they're on this site, so nobody knows to look for them and nobody knows if they're safe.
When women go missing, no one knows to look for them there.
And it's just scary because, like, you know, they say you can have fake identities and exchange money and no one knows who you are and it's sort of untraceable. And I know people have to do what they have to do, but it just seems so scary.
And all of this could be solved if sex work was legal and regulated.
I mean, come on.
You know what I mean?
Like, we gotta help out these women.
Yes.
The stigma it's so ridiculous. Like, why? Like, is it worth it? Really? Can we just have the conversation that people don't want to have? For what?
I know. And I'm not correcting you at all because I know what you mean, but it's like not just women. And like this, you
right,
know,
no, of course.
you know,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So 3 days after Sarah goes missing, her mom's van is found along with Sarah's red weave. And we're told that like that was kind of her signature.
It's also important to point out that like Sarah's friends are going to get really involved here. And the weave was found next to the van and it was only identified as Sarah's weave because the best friend was like, Sarah wore a red weave. You know what I mean? Like the friends got really involved and gave the information that the cops wouldn't have had. And one of our talking heads said that if the friend hadn't told the cops that, they would have missed it completely.
Yeah.
And the weave is what is connecting Sarah to the van.
Exactly.
Girl, ZipRecruiter is back. Look, fam, the holidays are upon us and businesses are hiring for seasonal roles. Everything from haunted corn maze workers to lead elves and real bearded Santas to snowplow drivers.
Yeah, so here's what this means, just to like really break it down.
Please.
Employers need people with very specific skills, like certain experience level or like a special license even.
I know.
You never know if you're driving a snowplow, just like you can't do that without a license.
No! So whether you're hiring for one of those roles or any other role, the best way, as we know, to find the perfect match for your role is on ZipRecruiter. I use it all the time.
And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/TCO.
Fam, listen to this. ZipRecruiter's matching technology works fast to find the top talent so you don't have to waste time or money. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, you might be like, oh my God, is it October already? Yes, it is.
Exactly.
So you might have to find out like right away how many job seekers are in your area that are qualified and have that special license or whatever for your role.
And they do the work for you, fam. With ZipRecruiter's advanced resume database, you can instantly unlock top candidates' contact info.
Yeah, so it's pretty obvious. It's no wonder why ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2.
I mean, absolutely.
Obviously.
Fam, let ZipRecruiter find the right people for your roles, seasonal or otherwise.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/TCO.
Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/TCO.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Girl, Kettle and Fire is back. We love this stuff in our house. Kettle and Fire bone broth is rich, savory, slow simmered, and it tastes as good as it is for you.
Yeah, so if you have it on the reg, just said that, it supports your gut health and digestion. It supports muscle recovery and energy and immune function. So like you're getting all of this without changing your whole routine because all you got to do is heat this up and sip it.
Let me tell you that Steve started taking it when he was really sick, and he's like kept having it as a snack because it helps with bloating, it helps with craving, and it helps boost low energy moments.
Yeah, and also it's like an instant upgrade to your meals because it's broth, right? So you can add it to like rice, soups, sauces. You get richer flavor and extra protein. My dad loves like a simmery sauce.
Yes.
So the last time I was home, I was like, here, have. He is thrilled. And he said it like really upgrades all that. He's like, he loves being in the kitchen. But it's really upgrading all of his sauces.
And let me tell you, we're adding as much protein as we can possibly get to things these days with up to 19 grams of protein per serving. It definitely keeps you full between meals. and can help curb cravings.
It's like such an easy way to upgrade your routine.
I mean, you have it right there in your pantry. Like, you're hungry, you grab it for a snack, or you add it to your cooking.
Come on.
So, fam, for a limited time, you can get a free carton of Kettle and Fire bone broth by going to kettleandfire.com/TCO.
Just buy any 3 cartons in store, and they'll pay you back for one. This works on any flavor at any retailer.
You can find Kettle and Fire in over 22,000 plus stores nationwide, including Costco, Walmart, Target, Publix, Whole Foods, Kroger, and Sprouts.
That's KETTLE and fire.com/TCO.
It's delicious.
It's delicious. Upgrade that soup.
Honestly.
We're not doing like subpar soups anymore.
No.
Come on. So Sarah's BFF is very important to this investigation, and she was able to get onto Sarah's computer.
She goes a hacking.
And I love this.
Me
and
too.
so they get information about like who Sarah was talking to and what she was doing and where she was meeting. And she finds that Sarah was talking to this guy who his name is Lil Yak Rock.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
But we see the screenshot, and it's just like, they are just getting right to it. He says, do you want to make money? Sex for money. And Sarah goes, how much money? ? Then she says 500. And then she says the thing that is just like, oh my God. But it's what so many people, I'm sure, say. She goes, you're not a serial killer, right?
I know.
LMAO. And he just says, no. No punctuation, no nothing. And to see that in writing is like, oh my God. But like, I'm sure how many people make jokes like that?
Or how many people make the joke thinking if I make the joke, then this plane isn't going to crash? You know what I mean?
Yeah, tell me about it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a thing that you say when it's like, if I say it, then it won't be true.
But Sarah's saying it, and then she ghosts him. So she says it, he says no, and she gets nervous or whatever, and she bails.
Yeah.
And he follows up with her, and he's like, hey, are we doing this? And of course, because she's a woman, we would all do it. She apologizes. And she goes, sorry, I got really nervous. And it's like, this is an app. It's just so indicative of like who is and just like how women have to navigate the world, because we're told that the app is built so that you don't know these people from a hole in the wall.
Right.
She doesn't owe him an apology. She doesn't owe him a response. She doesn't owe him anything.
Yes.
But because of how we are navigating in the world, and Black women in particular, and sex workers, like, and she's like, sorry, I got nervous. She feels like she has to apologize to this piece of shit.
And then she like agrees to the meet. She agrees to do it.
So Sarah's BFF.
Oh my God, if you don't say let the women do the work.
Teams up with Sarah's sister.
Sarah's sister and friends took matters into their own hands. They could tell the kind of women that he was interested in, so they created this fake profile. It was a catfishing scheme that they knew would attract him, and it did.
It works.
It 100% works.
They meet up at Panera.
Oh my God, of course.
They head to Panera.
Starving.
Hopefully got the green tea,
of
which
course.
is my favorite. The, like, what is it? The papaya green tea? Get it with no ice.
Yeah. I do love, too, that the police were like, thank you for setting this up. We will take it from here.
Like, please.
But also, I feel like let's keep the ladies safe. Like, I think that's the right thing to do.
Well, yeah. So the sister and the BFF tell the cops about everything. And like, about the meetup, and this is what we said, and this is what he's going to be wearing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And the piece of shit is picked up. And he gives them his real name, which is Khalil Wheeler Weaver.
And they say he's super cooperative, presents himself like a hardworking, nice young man. He's a security guard at a supermarket.
His family is in law enforcement.
Yeah, but I mean, his family is law enforcement, and that is big because of what happens next. The police question him for like a little bit. He gives the timeline of his night with Sarah. He's like, we hung out. She dropped me off. I went to hang out with one of my buddies. They call the buddy. The buddy's like, yeah, he was with me all night. They let this fucking guy go.
And so the cops, quote, don't see him as a threat, right?
Yeah.
But because Tiffany wasn't taken seriously, they don't know about her case.
Right.
So they can't see any similarities, if any. And so they just drop it.
Right.
And the family being in law enforcement cannot be ignored because this is, once again, selective.
Yes.
Today, in this moment, they're going to use it to not pursue this kid.
And can I just
say, for the
say,
second time.
Yeah, like, once again, Tiffany had this guy's name.
Yeah.
And he used his real name with the cop now in the case of Sarah.
And so did Robin's friend.
Yes. So if the cops had
With the
listened to these Black women at any point and actually believed them and taken some kind of fucking record of this guy's name, these women wouldn't be dead.
Yeah. Yeah, they had many opportunities to do the right thing, and they just kept not doing it. And like in this instance, we're seeing how clear it is that they didn't do the same right thing.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they didn't pursue this guy. They knocked on this guy's door twice, only they didn't know it was twice because nobody's talking, because nobody's taking these people seriously.
And nobody's putting his name in the system. Nobody's nobody's making a report about this guy.
You know, it makes you want to jump out a window a little bit, doesn't it? Don't you feel like exasperated just saying it?
I mean, you know, I know that you live in this world every day. I've got an 11-year-old daughter that's this about to be the world that she's inheriting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She's living it.
I know.
You know?
I mean, it's really fucking crazy.
Yeah. And now, like, the black women of it all, you know, the sex work, you know, it's just like it never fucking ends. End. So both killers here, Boston and New Jersey or whatever.
I think people have built in their mind the image of a killer, and it's not the tagged killer and the Craigslist killer. You have young, attractive predators preying on their victims. What made the Craigslist killer case so interesting was he was an all-American guy, a guy that you would be friends with on social media.
They're hiding in plain sight, but they're both using the internet to do this.
And we were talking about this off mic a little bit. I actually appreciated that they pointed out that the killer in New Jersey is attractive. And the reason I think that that's important is because the Craigslist killer was hot. Like, that was the whole thing. And it's just another way in which these cases are the same. A hot guy attracts a sex worker who escapes, who has the details and the story to tell, and the Craigslist killer becomes famous, and no one's ever heard of this guy.
You know, I know that this took place in 2016, and I think that was probably about maybe the end of like, well, he didn't look like a killer. When did we start doing this? 2018?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
2017.
Like, you know, it's like, well, yeah, that's kind of the point. It can be anyone.
Yeah.
So we got to stop with this whole like, I hope that this is sort of the tail end of that, but he was bookish. What the fuck does that mean?
And that's the whole thing, is that like, this is all wrapped up in like selling newspapers and magazines and even getting people to watch the episodes of this show. You know what I mean? It's like, it all sucks.
So it's December 1st, 2016. Sarah Butler has been missing for 9 days. And the whole investigation is online, basically, like texts, apps, whatever. And they are able to find Sarah's body because of her cell phone. So they're using like the towers and all of that information.
And they're making it sound like the killer didn't know that this is how cell phones worked.
Well, because they to Eagle Rock Reservation, which we're told is like a lot of forest area, super hidden, has a history of bad things happening. So they say, I'm sure it's also lovely.
Yes,
like, don't come for me. I'm sure, but like it's just one of those places where it can be, you know, off the beaten path or whatever. So Sarah's body was hidden under a bunch of leaves, and the van was found in Orange, New Jersey. And so the cops are using surveillance footage to track the movements of the van to see, like, how did we get from, how is the van here and how is Sarah here? How do we merge the two together?
Yeah.
So the van is seen in the parking lot of 7-Eleven, and they see Sarah in the van, like in the footage.
In the passenger seat of the van that she was driving.
Yeah. And so the killer, it's weird how I guess it's a power thing, but like he had Tiffany switch seats. So like he picked up Tiffany, but then Tiffany drove.
Yeah.
And now in this, you know, it's weird. So the killer goes into 7-Eleven. He's wearing all black, wearing black gloves. And this is where we're told.
In surveillance photos, the man is fixated on his BlackBerry. The device made it easy to find him.
The Craigslist killer and the tagged killer were preying on their victims because of the internet, and the internet was the smoking gun.
They just like forgot about the surveillance in 2016.
And this isn't like 2001. This is 2016.
But it's weird because they're both attached to their phones.
I know.
And pretty well versed in technology that like they're able to, you know, they use these apps or whatever, but they just sort of like it just proves that they were totally distracted by their need to do these horrible things, that they're not clocking the surveillance camera at a 7-Eleven.
And also they're not trying to not get caught. That's the other thing. It's like this guy, the killer in the New Jersey cases, has already been caught and let go twice.
Well, and then it's like, well, now he's more emboldened, right?
Exactly.
And they're both targeting people that, quote, maybe, you know, people wouldn't care about, but not necessarily in Boston because they're like high-class escorts at fancy hotels and get to be on the 6 o'clock news being like, oh, how did she get into this? Something horrible must have happened to her. But meanwhile, Tiffany made her fucking choices and she let him duct tape her. Like, what are you saying to me?
Exactly.
If you were to take certain, you know, race or neighborhood out of it, it's the same thing.
You could do the check mark, like arranged on the internet, you know, involved a sex worker who got away, you know.
Met at a hotel. If it's not don't use a descriptive word. If it's just a hotel, it's the same thing.
Like both of the killers caught on surveillance video, like that's the internet is their downfall. They weren't paying attention to, you know, how the internet works and what they can, like it is exactly the same.
So they find this guy.
Yes.
And they charge this this murderer with Sarah's murder, and then they're able to, quote, link him to other crimes. I'm like, oh, are they?
Right.
Are they now finally able to do that when you let him go twice before, based on two separate people telling you exactly who he is, Robin's friend and Tiffany?
They had his name. They had the license plate of his car.
They went to his house.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
They knocked on his door twice and asked him what was going on, but because we have the jurisdiction bullshit or whatever, they didn't know they went to him twice.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm like, oh, are you? Are you really now? You're going to take credit for it now? Great.
Also, Tiffany's here to say, like, I think there's a lot more of victims of this guy. She says, I don't believe I'm the only survivor.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And well, I mean, even at the end of this, I still agree.
Yeah.
You know, like, we'll get more information, but I still agree with Tiffany.
Yeah. Girl, Our Place is back. Did you know that most nonstick cookware, unlike Our Place, but most of the others, still contain harmful chemicals like Teflon and other PFAS, which can leach into food, the environment, and the home? Get that stuff out of your kitchen.
Yeah, I don't understand how, like, most nonstick cookware still contains these harmful toxins. It makes no sense to me. But there's this brand new study that was published in the Science of the Total Environment.
Yeah.
And it found that a single scratch on a nonstick coated pan can release approximately 9,100 plastic particles. I'm not doing that.
No, and that's where Our Place comes in and why switching to a toxin-free cookware is the only decision if you care about you and your loved ones' health.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, what's in my pan? Just the thing I'm cooking, not this, like, random toxin or 9,100
But
of them.
it's still super non-stick and it works just as well or better.
And look, I want to tell you about the set. I love the set so much. Buying the set saves you money. You can save $150 on the cookware set with the bundle and save option. I'm just saying that's what I did.
And it's a look upgrade in addition to, like, getting those toxins out of your house.
Yeah.
So fam, stop cooking with toxic cookwares and upgrade to Our Place today.
Visit FromOurPlace.com/TCO and use code TCO for 10% off site-wide.
With a 100-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and returns, you can experience this game-changing cookware with zero risk, fam.
Are you kidding? And it makes me feel fancy. I'm just saying it.
I know.
Because you know it's good quality and it's healthy and safe.
And it looks nice in your cupboard.
Whatever, I'm professional.
Me too.
So we learned that Robin West was murdered. I can't believe her father is here.
Yeah.
Because he tells us what happened.
This is like the family from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I was filled with rage in seeing him and knowing what he has done. Khalil Wheeler Weaver killed Robin, put her body in an abandoned house, and set her on fire.
I'm furious. Like, this whole thing fills me with rage.
And he's sobbing. Like, he's sobbing, I'm sobbing. It's just absolutely horrible.
And he says he's going to try to turn this pain into purpose, which, Leroy, you are absolutely doing.
Yes.
You've succeeded, by the way, if no one has told you that 500 times today. And he's like, here, let this be a lesson. Like, listen to what people are telling you. Because remember, the cops spoke to this guy many times and didn't pursue him.
Yeah.
And so this is when Leroy's like, hey, do your fucking jobs.
And even the cops will admit that if they had listened to Tiffany Taylor, Sarah might still be alive. Like, that's how this episode started, was by Tiffany saying, like, if they had just listened to me, more people didn't have to die.
Right. So by December 2019, now it's like a few years later, because this was all in 2016, December of 2019, Tiffany testifies and she nails it. So now this is what, the fourth time on the stand that she has to tell this horrible thing that happened to her?
Yes.
And so now we learn about even more victims of this guy, because now that they're like, wait, Tiffany, and now they're like connected to Robin, and now they're going back and they're like, oh, wait a second.
Yes.
And now these cops are like, well, maybe all these years later, we'll start to look into the connections and see all of the terror that this guy really did. So we learn about Joanne Brown, who's another victim who was found a few blocks away from the killers. Again, duct tape and strangled, just like Tiffany Taylor.
And left in an abandoned house.
Yep. And then Mawa Doumbia, who's 15 years old. It took 3 years to find her.
Yeah.
He was later charged with her murder after Tiffany testified. So Tiffany's still doing the amazing work.
Yeah.
And then we're back with Leah Webb, the state senator, saying, and she gives these numbers that are like, I know we say it all the time, but when we hear it, it's pretty insane.
More than 250,000 women and girls go missing every year. And of that, 30% were Black women and girls. It is a systemic failure.
30% of those are Black women.
But also, and I think this is really important too, like our news anchor friends are telling us, it was only at this point that the killer is named a serial killer, and that was the point at which the media paid attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is what is, like, when he was individually killing these Black women, nobody cared. But you put the label serial killer on him, and all of a sudden he's getting the news coverage.
And then it's like, but he doesn't look like one. Let's all look at the serial killer who doesn't look like a serial killer.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's what serial killers look like. They look like anybody.
And they also talk about about the problem with these stories, and we face this too, the problem with telling these stories is that the killer can often become the center of the story. Because
oh my God, all the time.
What people are so fascinated by is what makes these people tick.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the killer gets 160 years in prison. The other guy from Boston killed himself in prison, but they caught him too, finally.
There's this one moment that we get where Robin is, Robin's dad is in the courtroom watching the sentencing, and he says, like, everybody in that room just wanted the killer to take accountability, which he does not do.
Oh, right.
He says he didn't do it.
That'll be the day.
That'll be the day, right?
Oh, my God.
But everyone is crying, and Leroy is saying that
I actually had the opportunity to pray with his mother because she was sitting there in tears and she was saying, where did I go wrong? And I had to say to her, you did nothing wrong. He did this. My anger is not going to bring my daughter back.
I would just wondered in that moment if I could do that.
That's the pastor in him.
Yes. Yes, and I would hope that I would be able to have that moment of humanity with the person who didn't do this, but did raise the person who did.
Yeah, because we don't know her story.
We don't.
And we don't know if she tried, or we don't know what their relationship was. Like that we don't know, but that was like, oh, Leroy, your pastor is showing in that moment.
Back in the beginning of TCO, you and I used to always say, like, don't on forgiveness. We used to hate that so much.
Yeah.
And I love this moment for Leroy if that's what he needs. I don't know if I'd be able to do it, but I thought it was like a really interesting thing for him to tell us now.
I think in Leroy's, again, I'm just speculating wildly, but I think this is the type of forgiveness that Leroy has where it does help him and it is for him.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like not for you and it's something you feel like you need to do. Because we see this a lot where it's like, my girlfriends were telling me I had to forgive them. And I said, absolutely not. Like, this is something that I think Leroy really did need for healing and to move on. So Leroy can...
He can have it.
He can have
Leroy,
it.
I'll give you this one.
I think it's a very, it's a case-by-case basis in terms of
100%.
forgiveness.
Yes.
But at the end, Leroy, Robin's dad, speaks with Tiffany, and we learn that, like, they have become family.
Yes.
And Leroy says, because Tiffany, like, of course, has gone through hell and back, and she's doing the amazing work, but of course, like, the trauma is going to come out every now and again. She's going to feel guilty, like if she just said the right thing or whatever. Like, Tiffany, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
And Leroy says as much and says, you are the definition of a strong Black woman. You're sharing your story. Being scared doesn't mean you're weak.
Yeah, and if you think about their connection, Leroy and Tiffany, she's probably about the age of his daughter, Robin.
Yeah.
When I met Tiffany, immediately she took to me and my wife. I lost a daughter, but I gained a daughter for the rest of our lives. It doesn't end here. We got a whole lifetime to go.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Yes, I do. Oh, God.
She survived his daughter's killer. So, like, in a way, I'm just thinking about this now. She knows what his daughter went through.
Well, because she says, you checked on me and no one else did. And I want to say thank you. Imagine how lonely it must have been for Tiffany.
Yes.
And Leroy says, like, he gained a daughter.
Yes, and she gained a father.
And so I just think it's a really beautiful way of like how people do find strength in each other in these moments. Because Leroy earlier was like, I just want to use this fury and this rage for good and for action. And it's like just the two of them coming together and helping each other heal in this really important way that only the other one could do for the other one.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like no one else could do that.
Yeah.
Like only Tiffany and Leroy.
It's that shared experience that only they have.
Could do it for each other. And it's just like, oh, well, now I'm sobbing on a Wednesday.
I know. And then in the end, we get the great, like, I love that there's a lot of on-screen text at the end, but they really take the time at the end to do the in memory of Robin West, who was 19 years old, Joanne Brown, 33 years old, Sarah Butler, who was 20 years old, and Mawa Doumbia, who was 15 years old. 15.
I know. So this asshole got 160 years in prison, and also, he is awaiting trial for the murder of 15-year-old Mawa Doumbia. So, and he's pled not guilty. Like, fuck off.
Fuck off.
And you're going to die in prison.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
My
day
God,
now,
the
right?
police came to your house twice. Like, what are you doing?
Right, but I love that it's like, oh, we're not done with him. We're still going to charge him. Because how many times did we see, too, where it's like, well, we got him for 150 years. If
so
this is too hard of a case. But, like, that's how easy this case is going to be.
Totally.
That it's like, oh, let's just, like, let's get him. Let's get him on this one. So, yeah, he's currently serving 160 years in a maximum security prison. The following organizations did not respond to or declined our request for comment: Union County Police Department, Elizabeth Police Department, and the Montclair Police Department.
Just like fucking sit down and answer for yourself.
And those are all in Jersey, by the way.
How humanizing would it be for the cops to be like, yeah, we kind of fucked this up?
Look, we say this all the time. Don't you want to be a hero?
Yes.
Don't you want to do the right thing? And what does it say about the system you're in?
Yes.
If you can't say, that was wrong.
Right.
And we learned from that, and here's what we're doing better. That's a problem.
Because if police want to have more of the civic trust, this is how you earn it.
And they're never,
But wouldn't you think, don't they talk the talk? You know, like they want the people to trust them. You want to feel safe when you see a police. How many documentaries have we covered lately where it's like, and that changed the way I look at policing forever. That's every time I pass a cop on the highway now, I'm terrified.
I know.
You want to earn back some trust, take some accountability. No one is expecting you to get it right 100% of the time. Wouldn't that be nice if you did? That is not an expectation anybody has. Sit down and say, we messed this up.
Yeah. And it also ends with, if you or someone you know has experienced sexual assault, you are not alone.
Yeah.
And then RAIN, you know that RAIN, that great organization, RAIN with 2 N's. So they have like 24/7 support. You can go to rainwith2Ns.org, or you can call. Remember phone calls?
Yeah.
Toll free, 1-800-656-HOPE, which is 4673. So yeah, I just got the cheesiest urge to say be the change you want to see in the world. But that's kind of how I feel about this. Do the right thing, everybody.
Yeah.
And you're also not alone.
So here's the thing. Here's our petition. We want mental health professionals on the set for interviews, and we want cops to say that we fucked this one up.
And Robin Roberts to rule everything. I know I can't. It's a lot to put on her shoulders. But I just love that she don't you feel like, oh, she's taking care of everything?
100%.
You know, I feel safer around her.
She's got it. Robin, give us more episodes, girl.
Oh my God, Robin, please.
Yeah.
I know you're busy, but
Thank you. Bye. Oh, girl, we did, what's it called?
This is that show, Murder Has Two Faces. Here's a critique.
Yeah.
A bit of constructive criticism for the show. I don't love the episode titles. This is Good Guys Gone Bad.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
I didn't love
You know, while we're doing this, there's a little lower third action. I like it when you bring the lower third back for the third or fourth time we see somebody.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You know who never has lower thirds?
Who?
Dateline.
Oh.
They say the name of the person.
Yes, you're right.
I like a lower third, but
Dateline,
I know now we're
give us a lower third. We're not
we have a
asking
lot
for
of
too much
asks today.
Anyway, fam, we love you. Join the Facebook group. Join us on Patreon. Follow us on the socials. Oh my God, and follow us on YouTube. We have over 100,000 subscribers now.
Yeah, and we will see you very soon. We are not done with these bonus episodes, so we will see you, I don't know, but soon.
Next Thursday.
Yeah, well,
from whatever day this is.
For whatever day. We'll see you very, very soon.
All right, we love you. Goodbye.
All right, we love you. Bye.